guys, welcome to Willow's Whimsy. This is a series I haven't been doing as much of. It's Neecie's Many Musings, and it's kind of about everything that all the other videos I do aren't, so it could be anything, right? And I wanted to talk today about ADHD. You know, there used to be a separate designation, ADD, attention deficit disorder, but now that's gone and it's only ADHD and all the things that fall into that bucket. I read something interesting. I had never thought of it this way. Hyperactivity, when we think about hyperactivity, we think about those kids, right, in school who would have outbursts, who would walk around the classroom, who were always, you know, drumming on their desk or fidgety or, you know, attention deficit is a form of hyperactivity. My brain is always going. My brain is so full of so much. And I don't want to get into a discussion about addiction. I'm just going to say this. My drug of choice was the only drug that numbed that and shut the constant thinking up. It is something else. So my ADHD, if you will, I have a very difficult time focusing for long on things I don't like doing. I have a very difficult time following through on anything. I don't care, even if it's stuff I love. I'm just admitting the truth about myself here. There also seems to be some kind of disconnect in my brain, and I think that this is a part of ADHD. I've seen it in others who've been diagnosed is, how do I say this? I don't learn just by observance. I don't learn just by doing. I don't learn just from reading instructions, okay? I have to have all three of them. It has to be repeated over and over and over. And I'm not talking about a person training me, because I'm talking about my job here if I didn't go into this. Because it's affecting my job big time. I don't mean the person training me should be holding my hand when they have their own job to do. What I mean is train me on the task the way I just said. First, show it to me. Second, have me do it while you're watching. Have me look at the instructions if there are any, okay? Let me do it. Be open to the fact that I may have to come to you several times with questions, especially if no one document that I'm supposed to be inputting is the same. So you've got one process, but there might be several different things within the process. That makes my brain short circuit. And then I have what I call, they're not fugues, because I'm not out of it. I'm not out of touch with reality, but it's like a blank out, if that makes more sense. I short circuit and I can no longer focus on it at all. And this has affected me in every job. From the very first one, I think my first job was the Yogurt Express in Brookdale. And then I think from there I went to Target. And eventually, you know, let's fast forward all these years, here I am. That's happening in this job big time. So a couple things are going on. I want to talk about, I've mentioned this before, this generational bullshit about I have this disorder. So everyone else, I see these people, I've lost friends because of this and they've walked away from me because of this. Yeah, because it's fucking hard to deal with you. I don't mean to be uncaring. I've had this my whole life. I have borderline personality disorder, huge emotions. I am an expert at people backing away because I'm too big, I'm too much. And that has mellowed because of menopause and the hormonal piece is gone. That has lessened because of intense therapy for it and a willingness to look at myself in all of it. If you have a disorder and you are too much, which is what I pretty much was told my whole life I was, that hurts, and I do. I understand. I feel for you. I have compassion in my heart for you. But we're not there yet. You know, you find your people, the people who will hang in there, and you don't push people away too. When people, I have been triggered by people, you know, and their stuff. I don't judge their stuff, but if it's so big that it triggers me, it's okay for me to lovingly withdraw myself from the situation. But oftentimes when you do that, you get attacked. And that is also triggering. I don't use my disorder for excuse for bad behavior. I use my disorder as an explanation. So please understand as I'm going through this that I am not saying it's anybody's fault. Okay? The training, and I've mentioned that before, and you know, there's always a possibility that they'll see these videos, and I'm at a point in my life where I'm going to do what I'm going to do, and I'm going to share, and I will deal with the repercussions if I have to, because I like the people I work for. These are just my observations and my experiences, and I don't name names, and I don't give locations, and I got a job. And I'm trying really hard, but I have short-circuited. It's a lot of pieces. Some of them overlap, some of them look the same. There is a manual for all of this. The problem is it was written by a human and written from her perspective and how things made sense to her. We all have a different way of learning. So when I look at this thing, some of it's helpful, but not helpful enough. And because my boss is very busy, and first of all, she is. I acknowledge that. However, we all hear it every single day. How busy she is, how backed up she is, how she can't get her job done. It's really, these things start to affect you, you know, and it's affected me in the sense that I'm afraid to go to her with these questions. And so I sit there. I sit there and I stew. And I finally got talked to yesterday, and she was not mean at all. She said, what did you do yesterday? You said you were going to do this, but because this has several steps, and she had given me some paperwork for something related to this. They went like this in my mind. They weren't separate. And I didn't get done what she wanted me to do. And she said, what were you doing all afternoon? I was working. Like, I know I was working, but I can't even tell you. You guys, things come in and things go out, and this is the way I am. And if I could find something that was more catered to my personality, I would do it. This is what I know. I hate being an administrative assistant. I hate it. The only times I've succeeded, I had two bosses who believed in empowering their employees and really giving them the training that they needed. That was a part of that empowerment. So I'm not knocking her. She's busy. I get it. But the constant having to hear it has now made me afraid to tell her, I don't understand this. I don't know specifically what you're asking for. And when I am trained on several different processes in 1 or 2 days, and then I don't do it for a month, guess what? I have no idea when I look at it again what it is or what I'm supposed to do. And maybe that's not fair to the employer. Like, I am so willing to look at how this affects others. It doesn't help me though, and I want help with this, because I look back, I always thought it was my using that caused all this chaos. It caused chaos. I'm not saying it didn't. I'm saying though that I thought I blamed this job thing and this not succeeding in these jobs and then quitting for some self-righteous reason or another. Some of them were valid, but they weren't reasons to quit. Not when it puts my family into financial chaos. I just wish I could find something. I just wish I knew what it was, you know? It's hard. The other piece is that the girl that was there before me, we're catching up on a bunch of her shit because she got pregnant 2 months after she started, and she checked out. You look at the paperwork now and stuff, and some of it was done and some of it wasn't. She didn't care. And my thinking, this is my mental health stuff. My thinking is, God, how'd she get away with that for a whole season? Because they ain't letting me get away with it. I'm not mad at my boss for talking to me. She's valid. My answers are, I don't know. And I'll be honest, I've said a few things, you know, and I said in my interview, I need training. I need good training. I'm as successful as my training is. And my training, it hasn't been good. It hasn't been, you need to have a plan when you bring an employee in. You need to have a process for it. And yeah, it means you might be busier picking up the load, but at least you're training someone in a way that really empowers them to take off with the job. And so I'm not walking away this time. I'm not blaming her. Sometimes it is messing with my self-esteem a little bit because of my struggles with this, but then also she, at least once a day, talks about how she had this one admin and how wonderful she was. Like, she talks once a day at least. I hear about that. There's some passive aggressive stuff going on there. And the constant, she doesn't yell and scream at me. It's a family operation, and she will yell and scream at her parents. And I don't want to get into that. That's their dynamic. Like, but how busy she is, and we're all busy. And I do agree that, you know, some of the other people there could be doing better and doing more. It would make her job a lot easier. I do agree with that. I have to be careful what I say. At the end of the day, I do think these are lovely people. And I want to be successful. And that might mean I never overcome these issues, but that I stick with it and don't just leave. For me, my God, that's success. Stick with it. Find something else, girl. Find something else. I get 3 months off from this job because we get laid off. It's seasonal from Thanksgiving until March 1st. And I so was in love with the idea of that because I can travel and yada, yada. Yeah, I know you got to have money. I have miles to go 3 different places that I want to go, but you know, got to stop to think I'll need a hotel in 2 of the places and I'll need a vehicle in 1 of them. So I do need to be realistic about that. I would love to hear from any of you who have ADHD. You know, I'm going to get the insurance, even though I'm trying to have faith with this whole financial piece. Right now, I don't have extra money, and I'm going to be giving up money, and I have no idea what kind of deductible this plan has. I know nothing, but I have to get on meds, you guys, and I have some medical stuff that is supposed to be addressed once a year and hasn't been in 2 years. I have no idea. I could have major emphysema. I could have cancer. Who knows? You know, we'll find out. And I am looking for another job, but I am not going to walk out of this one. I'm not going to have outbursts. I don't bring my drama to work. I was upset when my boss talked to me yesterday, but I would say 90% of me being upset was because she was right. You know, the other 10% is the things I told you about. They do affect me. And so I reached out to my sister. She's traveling, and I just said, hey, are you going to be around at 1 p.m. your time? Like, can we talk? And she goes, yeah. And so I called her, and you know, she said at one point, she said, I don't know what to say. And she said, some of this is normal, Denise. I forget things too. And just to know she does, because I kind of hold her up to a certain ideal, like she's the really smart one. And she is. But like, I used it for so long to judge myself. And just to hear her say, I make mistakes too, really helped me, you know? And I said, it's okay that you don't know what to say. To have someone who holds space for you and lets you feel the way you need to feel and doesn't try to fix you, that's at least what I need most of the time. Yeah. And so I'm going to get medicated for this. I'm going to get assessed and I'm going to get medicated and see if that helps. I'm going to get on medication, my depression medication too. So like, I am at a place where I am done. Like I'm willing to try anything to make my life, I don't want to say bearable, because it's more than bearable. It's good. There's just hard parts that I've never faced or walked through. And so now I'm going to do that. I would love to hear from you in the comments, or you can message me, because in the description, I do put my email, and you can tell me your story. Tell me what meds you're on. Tell me if they worked. Tell me what your symptoms of ADHD are. ADHD are. You know, ARER. Thanks for listening, you guys. Thank you so much. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll be back next week. Please give this video a thumbs up. Please subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell, and yeah, comment. In this case, I would like advice. Thanks, you guys. Have a great week. I'll see you next time.